Biden pushes support for Israel as rocket fire and interceptions continue to fill the sky.
Congressman George Santos faces federal indictments.
United Auto Workers ask for donations to continue strike.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Drew Maurer.
And I'm Samantha Rodriguez. Israel is ramping up airstrikes in Gaza as the war stretches into its fourth day. President Biden stressed U.S. support for Israel and called out Congress to help, but turmoil in the House of Representatives could derail efforts to send. Jen Sullivan reports.
At night, the skies near Gaza lighting up as Israeli defense missiles target Palestinian rockets. The sound of sirens filling the air. During the day, streets submerged in smoke, rescue teams pulling out bodies from under rubble.
It's the forces of evil, the forces that want to take us back 500 years.
In Gaza alone, hundreds are dead and many more missing, including Americans. As tensions rise between Israel and Hamas, so does the fear from families wondering what's happened to missing loved ones, like Jacob Ben Sr., whose daughter Danielle has been missing since Friday.
You can't rest, you can't eat, you can't live, you can't breathe. My heart, it's on the floor.
The atrocities in Israel triggering global reaction.
This was an act of sheer evil.
On Tuesday, President Joe Biden calling on Congress to take immediate action, saying he wants to send ammunition and interceptors to help Israel fight Hamas.
We're going to make sure that Israel does not run out of these critical assets to defend its cities and its citizens.
But turmoil in the House of Representatives could hinder efforts to send help. Without a speaker, the House is unable to vote on any legislation, including aid packages.
We got to get 217 votes to go to the floor.
Tuesday, Representative Steve Scalise and Representative Jim Jordan laying out their reasons to be the next speaker. But without a clear frontrunner, the future for aid to Israel is unclear. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
House Republicans will confirm a nominee this evening.
Disturbing headlines and videos detailing violence in Israel and Gaza have begun to dominate the media world. As a result, health experts have said that the traumatic events can cause a heightened sense of stress and anxiety, especially with children. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more.
You might have personal connections to it. You might be experiencing some triggers from something from your past. And so it's really important to just be aware of what you're feeling and then let go of any shame or judgment around that. But just know that your feelings, whatever they are.
Next, what card do you need to add?
Really, that's not what they need. Kids don't need a script. They need you to be in it with them and let them know they're not alone in it. How to kind of check their thoughts and see if it's accurate and it's helpful. And you're teaching them strategies to regulate. So if they're feeling overwhelmed, there are things that they can do to calm their body and calm their mind.
Federal prosecutors are accusing Congressman George Santos of stealing donors' identities and running up thousands of fraudulent charges on their credit cards. The New York Republican pleaded not guilty to 13th federal charges in May. A superseding indictment on Tuesday replaced the earlier case against Santos. Now there are 10 new charges. They include allegations he embezzled cash from his company and conspired with his former campaign treasurer to falsify donation totals. It brings the total number of counts against him to 23. The new charges come days after his former treasurer, Nancy Marks, pleaded guilty of conspiracy.
Well, it's finally starting to feel like October, Sam, and it's the 11th.
Hopefully this beautiful weather continues. Grace Grimes is going to give us our first look.
Thanks, guys. So for today's current conditions, we actually have a pretty nice day outside. It's finally starting to cool down a little bit. So our current temperature is 76 degrees with a feels like of 78. It is today with wind speeds of 13 miles per hour. On to tonight's conditions. So for tonight, it still is going to be a little bit cloudy. We have actual temperature of 78 with a feels like of 80. The wind speeds are going to pick up a little bit with 16 mile per hour wind speeds. So for tomorrow's conditions, we still are going to have a partly cloudy day. The temperature is going to be 76 with a feels like of 77. The winds are going to pick up even more tomorrow with 18 mile per hour wind speeds. We also don't have to worry about Hurricane Lydia anymore. The storm made landfall in Mexico's Pacific coast on Tuesday as a Category 4 hurricane, packing winds of 140 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center says Lydia has weakened into a tropical storm. The storm is expected to rapidly weaken as it continues to move through the west central Mexico. The Hurricane Center says Lydia is expected to dump 4 to 8 inches of rain across the region and cause rip current conditions along the west coast of Mexico and Baja California. That's all I have for First Look Weather. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thank you, Grace. A man and woman were arrested for distributed fentanyl around the DFW area, according to a Denton police report. At 5 a.m. on Saturday, detectives stopped the suspect's vehicle where they found multiple illegal substances. Both suspects admitted to possession of about 100 pills laced with fentanyl. They were arrested and charged with manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance. After the break, Connecticut woman walks into police station and fires a gun.
And this dad decides to strip down in a school board meeting to make his point.
To video equipment like DVDs, video games, and cameras. That's right, you do. Come on down to Chilton Library and fulfill your media dream. Located on the bottom floor next to the student sculpture. Hope to see you there soon. Hey girl, you know you look good. I like the way you move and groove. I'm not sure.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
Nearly 1 year after a tragic incident involving the death of 2 officers, another was heroically prevented. A woman outside of a police station in Connecticut last week fired, and they believe her intentions were to hurt herself. CNN's Dylan Fearson has more on the story.
It's almost unbelievable. You can't even imagine that this would happen.
Thanks to these brave, heroic police officers, it didn't happen again. But the trauma, the pain, the awful memories come rushing back.
Definitely deja vu.
Suzanne LaPrise walks in with a gun, erratic, banging on windows. She shoots at multiple windows near officers. No one was hit thanks to bulletproof glass. As officers get in position, LaPrise takes her sweater off, sits down, then shoots again. A Bristol officer fires back, the glass blocking the bullet again. LaPrise eventually puts her gun down. I have the gun in her hand right now. And police pounce. LaPrise was tased and arrested. Charged with attempted murder. Police believe it was a suicide by cop attempt.
They did a remarkable job.
Police Chief Brian Gould is proud of his officers, relieved no one else walked into the station during the shootout.
No matter how much training you have, in a moment like that, there's a lot of personal heroism right there and a lot of self-control and restraint to make the decision, and they acted flawlessly.
Mayor Jeff Caggiano says when he saw Chief Gould calling him late at night, his heart skipped a beat.
It was gut-wrenching to see a call. Again, we're so close to the tragic events of October 12th that a lot goes through your mind.
Thursday will mark a year since Bristol officers Dustin DeMonte and Alex Hamzy were killed in an ambush.
I know that they're present. You feel their presence, so certainly they're watching over us, and we're so thankful for both of them to be watching over us all the time.
LaPrise was placed in custody and her bond was set at $1 million. She has a court appearance scheduled for next Tuesday.
It's been almost a month since the first wave of auto workers went on strike up in Michigan. And with temperatures dropping, those on the picket lines are in need of donations as they brace for the elements. CNN's Andres Gutierrez reports from the Ford Assembly plant in Michigan.
Oh, the weather's going to play a part. It's cold outside now. We're prepared. It's just keeping the momentum up, and that's what we're trying to do.
At any given time, there are 18 burn barrels along the perimeter of the Ford Michigan Assembly plant, keeping picketers warm. Keeping them going 24 hours a day is a job in itself.
Non-stop work just to clean the barrels, keep the areas clean, keep the areas loaded up with wood. It's never ending. I don't know that we can necessarily say we're prepared. We just keep going.
The firewood is coming from other locals, other unions, and from all over the community. It's a hot commodity with fall setting in. However, that's not all.
We knew to prepare, but a lot of people didn't prepare. So we're trying to give as much resources as we can.
Members of Local 900, among the first to go on strike, have received their first check from the union strike fund. But there is only so much $500 a week can cover. And so besides the food boxes donated by United Way, items in this makeshift pantry help them get by until the next check.
We're constantly replenishing, so what you see on the table can disappear by the end of the day or the middle of the day.
So what are they in most need of?
Diapers, wipes, pull-ups, all sizes, toiletries, paper towel, toilet tissue, body wash.
They're accepting donations at all hours of the day at their hall on Michigan Avenue across the street from the assembly plant.
Anything you have, don't think that you have to donate in abundance. Don't think that you have to come in here with loads of stuff or cases of diapers. If you bring in one package of diapers, that's helping.
And it's the ongoing support keeping spirits strong.
The main concern now is when we're going to go back, but we know that we want a good contract. So we're out here for the fight. We're going to fight till it's over.
This past Monday, we celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day here in the United States.
And the celebrations still continue here at UNT. Let's go to our live reporter, Carla Castillo, who is at the Indigenous Peoples Day celebration. Carla?
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the 4th annual celebration of Indigenous people here at UNT, and I'm outside Sage Hall at the Sage Hall lawn where they are having this event. And I'm here with Raymond, the outreach officer for the Native American Student Association. Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
And my first question is, what is the importance of People's Indigenous Day, and why should people know more about it?
Indigenous Peoples Day is awareness and a showcase of the people that were here before anybody else was, and showing kind of how the people and the ways that we set beforehand kind of made way for what we have now.
And what do you want to tell people so they could come out today and just learn more if they're on campus, or just overall learn more?
It's always good to kind of, educate yourself on other cultures, and definitely getting to see something that has not really been showcased in a lot of light, especially here in Texas, where you get a lot of Hispanic culture and obviously a mix of us being at a very diverse school. You don't get to see a lot of Native culture around, so definitely getting to come out and learn about something that was very everywhere beforehand, before things change. It's very good to, kind of see how ways of life and ways of being were beforehand.
And I know you're a part of a student organization. How can people find out about more events you guys are doing?
Definitely follow us on Instagram at UNT NASA. That's definitely our main way of posting. When we're meeting, we meet every Monday at 5:30 at the Multicultural Center in the Union on the 3rd floor. We'll post there what we're talking about, what we're going to do, and if we're canceling a meeting. But I guarantee you, we are usually always meeting at 5:30 on Mondays.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Raymond, and I hope you have a good day and a good turnout at this event. But this is all I have for you guys. Well, not yet, actually. I'm lying. This event is still just going, so you guys back in the studio definitely have time to reach out. The powwow dancing actually just started, so definitely come out, get free Native American food, learn more about informational booths, and just how to be an ally to the Native American community. Now, this is all I have for you guys on this topic, but changing a little bit to how the weather is, I have to say the truth, and I'm finally happy that the hot weather days are finally over, and I could see the wind and finally feel fall. But let's go to the studio with our weather reporter, Grace Grimes, who has more on what the weather has to offer for us. What do you have for us, Grace?
Thank you, Carla. So all across North Texas, it's finally cooled down a little bit. In Denton and Decatur and Bowie, we have temperatures of 76, Gainesville 75. Really everywhere across North Texas is in the mid-70s. Onto the regional map. So across the state, we have also cooled down a lot. Down in Houston, we actually have the lowest temperature of 68. In Abilene, we have 78. Amarillo, we have 78. So it's finally starting to feel like fall in Texas. Onto the 7-day forecast. So for the 7-day forecast, look forward to having a really nice week. Look forward to having a nice and sunny weekend with temperatures and the highs in the 70s and the lows in the 50s. We don't have any precipitation in the forecast this week yet. That's all I have for today's weather. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Grace. A special education teacher in Houston, Texas has resigned after it was found that she was slipping the students doses of melatonin. One student's mother has spoken out, stating her concern because her 5-year-old son is nonverbal and could not communicate that this was happening at school. CNN's Brooke Taylor reports.
This mom says she's afraid to send her 5-year-old son to school after the principal called saying his teacher was secretly slipping him and other students melatonin.
They found it was melatonin gummies. I don't know the strength. They did find the bottle in the classroom from what I understand. We just noticed at least on 3 occasions when he came home, he was completely lethargic. He was stumbling to get off the bus.
Her son Wilder is nonverbal and is in a special education class at Pine Forest Elementary. She says his teacher has called her before.
She had called me a few times asking, what do you do at home? What do you suggest at home to get him to calm down? He's very active and we sometimes have a hard time getting him to focus back on the task at hand.
And did she ever mention to you giving him melatonin?
No, the only thing that now that I think about it is she had asked, like, besides favorite snacks, does he like gummies? Does he take gummy vitamins?
It is possible for children to overdose on melatonin. According to a CDC study from 2012 to 2021, Poison Control received more than 260,000 reports of children ingesting melatonin. 4,000 kids were hospitalized during that period, 5 children placed on ventilators, and 2 of those children died.
Your brain naturally produces this, but I don't know what dosage it was.
Humble ISD sent us a statement saying in part the district took immediate action to launch an investigation. Our investigation found that the teacher did give out melatonin, acting on her own and without obtaining parent permission. A spokesperson also says the district is appalled and the teacher's actions were unacceptable. The teacher, who we aren't naming since she hasn't been charged, was allowed to resign and no longer works for the district. But this mother worries she might just apply to a different district.
It's a breach of trust. We don't want this happening to somebody else. It was melatonin this time, but what if it was something else?
When the district was asked why the teacher was not fired, they said a resignation is more efficient, as to avoid a lengthy legal process. They are, however, conducting an investigation and the incident has been reported to the State Board of Educators certification. In Gilbert, Arizona, one dad has decided to make a statement at a school board meeting in a peculiar way. Ira Latham decided to strip down to a crop top and shorts as to protest the changes to the school dress code. CNN's Bianca Buono has a story.
If you ask me, this is inappropriate for a board meeting.
You might be wondering, why is a parent wearing this to a school board meeting?
I really had to make a statement.
This is Ira Latham, a Gilbert father with 4 kids in the Higley Unified School District.
These are my babies, these are my kids. I'm concerned about them.
In May, the district started dress code discussions, looking to update the policy, which hadn't been changed since 2001.
This is a very polarizing and controversial subject.
Board members split on the issue, some advocating for a new, looser dress code policy, eliminating restrictions, allowing for exposed midriff and spaghetti straps and halter tops, saying the existing policies disproportionately target female students.
We're saying that they need to cover up because of the way it might make someone else feel, and that is wrong.
Others advocating for a more modest dress code.
If we are prepping our children to be college and career ready, then they need to learn to be able to have self-respect.
The proposed policy also catching the attention of parents like Latham.
My concerns were about preparing students for entering the workforce, setting the right expectations,
having respect for other students in the classroom.
After speaking out at a prior meeting, Latham opted for a different strategy last month.
Under the proposed policy, this would be appropriate in a classroom.
Latham stripping down to a crop top with spaghetti straps and very short shorts.
The dress code that they wanted to get to is just basically a dress code for a public pool. Make sure that kids cover their underwear, and that's about it.
But despite Latham's demonstration, the board not skirting the issue, in a 3-2 vote, they approved the new, more lenient policy.
It's going to be harder for the teachers to have to deal with this new policy. It's going to be more distracting in the classroom, and it's going to have some parents that want to pull their kids out of the districts.
Although the issue is clearly controversial, the school board says it is something that they can revisit if problems persist.
If you like Halloween, this North Texan haunted house will be sure to scare you.
And UNT's Lucky the albino squirrel has been spotted all the way in Arkansas. Breaking news right now, the U.S. State Department spokesperson has confirmed that 22 Americans have died in Israel, further saying, "We extend our deepest condolences to the victims and to all of the families affected."
This is an update from yesterday when President Joe Biden had said that at least 14 American citizens had died. We will keep you updated as the story in Israel develops. If you're looking for some scares this spooky season, look no further than this local haunted house just outside of Denton. Warning, this story contains flashing images.
Every Halloween, once the city of Denton, Texas goes to sleep, the spooky characters of the Parker House are awakened to begin their night of frights. The Parker Plantation is known for their haunted walkthrough at the Parker House, as well as their zombie paintball outbreak. For over a decade, the Parker House has been sharing its love for Halloween every October by leaving those brave enough to enter with a story, a scare, and a smile. Just when you think you've only set foot inside of a small haunted house, the Parker House takes you on a journey through a trail in the woods, where creepy characters and impressive special effects leave you wondering what's next.
They can expect a very immersive experience. Like I said, we like to tell a story, and we try to showcase that not only through the scenes that you're going through, not only through the acts that you're seeing, but in what you're hearing and smelling. And, you know, the experience as a whole is something that we really try to cultivate to make it as immersive as possible.
Just 15 minutes west of Denton, the graveled path off of West University Drive immediately sets the scene. As you drive into an immersive experience, other people's screams and laughs get your adrenaline pumping and ready to face your fears.
It was cool though, like actors was good, hiding spots was good. It was very interactive. I was pleasantly surprised.
It was fun. Yeah, it was good. It was just really scary. Yeah, it was.
All that first alley we went down, we didn't go through that for like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, when the lights was flickering, the lights was flickering, I was like.
Now, as someone who loves to get into the spirit of Halloween, I had to see just how scary the Parker House was for myself. And let's just say, I wasn't scared at all.
Oh my God! Shows off my head! Oh my gosh, where do you keep coming from? Hello?
Okay, so maybe I was a little scared, but the fun didn't stop there. If you sign up for their Outbreak Adventure right after the Parker House, you jump onto a paintball-equipped vehicle designed to take you on an interactive ride around the property. There, your mission is to defeat the zombies taken over by the Outbreak virus and save the world. The Parker House and Outbreak Adventure has to be one of my favorite haunted attractions I've been to so far. Not only did they have these thrilling activities, but you were also met with a gift shop and merchandise stand once you reach the end to commemorate your bravery. To learn more about how you can experience the Parker Plantation attractions, hear the story behind these haunted woods, and take part in zombie paintballing, you can visit their website at www.hauntedhousedenton.com.
The Parker House is open until October 31st. Get your tickets before they close their gates.
Hold on just a second. Achoo! Oh my gosh, my allergy's been so bad, Sam.
Bless you, Drew. Lucky for you, our segment anchor, Crystal Prentice, has some solutions to help you through the allergy season.
The fall season is a beautiful time of the year for us Texans, with the many events going on like the fair and finally getting some cool weather. However, these changes bring on seasonal allergies for some of us. North Texas allergists and immunologists say they've already seen an increase in patients coming in with itchy eyes, watery eyes, and runny noses. But don't worry, there are ways to maintain your sniffles this season. Check the pollen levels daily. If the pollen count is high, it is recommended that you take antihistamine 1 hour before exposure. Keep your indoor space as clean as possible. Change your air filter regularly, and remember to change your medications. Take your medications. That's all I have for you today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Crystal. Hey, Drew, did you catch the Rangers game this weekend?
I did, and they had a lot more luck than the Cowboys. Unfortunately, the Cowboys had a rough go in Santa Clara. Well, let's pitch it over to Gabby to talk a little bit more about those Cowboys. Gabby?
Yeah, that's right, guys. We're going to be talking about that when we come back, as well as how UNT's football weekend went and a unique sports club right after this.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
The Dallas Cowboys had their first real challenge Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers, and this game put Dak Prescott's less interceptions promise to the test. Dak was able to connect with Cavante Turpin for a 26-yard touchdown pass, but unfortunately, that was his only highlight of the game. Brock Purdy took the fire out of the Cowboys defense and became the first Niners quarterback with 3 touchdown passes in a game since 2009. Dak, on the other hand, he's on the way to breaking his promise with coming from this game. He also had trouble getting rid of the 4 sacks, leading to a tough 42-10 loss. Of football, our very green football team played the Navy last Saturday. Fans expected this game to be close, and it truly did come down to the last possession. The first quarter came and went with a 42-yard field goal from Noah Rostenberg, gaining an early UNT lead of 3-0. The Navy were quick to respond, though, with Alex Texas scoring a touchdown, and from there, both teams scored back and forth. The Navy did get ahead with a lead of 27-17 about halfway through the fourth quarter, but Chandler Rogers handed the ball off to Io Day for a 47-yard run, making it just a 3-point game. UNT even got the ball back after no progress from the Navy, with just under 2 minutes left, and everything was on the line. But unfortunately, the Mean Green couldn't get a first down, and the game ended in a 27-24 loss. And finally, many students know that UNT has a wide variety of sport clubs, but did you know that we have fencing? I was able to get an inside look at this semester's fencing club and speak with a few members about their experiences.
UNT has proven itself to be a unique college with several interesting opportunities, many of which can be found through their 35-plus sports clubs like fencing. Fencing allows UNT students with any level of experience to suit up and compete in bouts against each other. Marshall Farmer, the fencing club president, explains the club in more detail.
We offer the first 3 practices for free for people who want to just try out the sport. But yeah, we do bouts against each other. We do weapon drills like we're doing right now. We do exercises. So after a month or 2, you start getting really built in terms of the muscles that you need for this. and it starts to become really, really fun.
Marshall picked fencing up on a whim, but he quickly fell in love with it and rose to his current position.
I started fencing not last spring, but the spring before. I joined halfway through the semester, which is arguably the worst time to join a sports club. But I joined because that was kind of 2 years after the pandemic initially started, and I needed to get like some kind of physical and social outlet because at that time everyone was still kind of hunkered down a little bit.
The same goes for Zoe Law, a senior at UNT who rediscovered her passion through the club.
I've been fencing for around 6 years. Well, I started in 3rd grade when I was in Hong Kong because they offer fencing in elementary school there. But then I moved here when I was in 6th grade, so I kind of stopped fencing and I picked it up again.
Zoe brings years of experience and she shares her knowledge as the student instructor.
So as a student instructor, like I lead footwork, I lead warm-up, so I kind of get to design the drills and all that.
With Zoe's help, Marshall believes members can accomplish their goals in practices and at tournaments.
We don't go to nationals ourselves, we do like regional tournaments at USA Fencing, but they're ranked tournaments. So if you do well enough, you earn a letter rank, and if you earn a high enough letter rank, you can go to nationals. So that's something we offer students. We've had students in the past get letter ranks before, which is really impressive because you're going against anyone born before the year 2009. So they could be going against 15-year-olds, they could be going against 50-year-olds.
At the end of the day, inclusion is what brings many members, like Apollo Lang, a sophomore at UNT.
I used to be a really big indoor kid, like Dungeons and Dragons, read books for fun. I still am. That's still a big part of my life. But having a physical outlet and being able to exercise in an environment where I know the people aren't going to judge me for anything or are able to work with me and my relative lack of experience and like athleticism before now, it's really rewarding to be able to actually do that.
If you're looking for more information or to join the UNT Fencing Club, be sure to follow them on Instagram at UNT Fencing Club and send them a message. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, I've got to go follow the fencing team on Instagram. I'm looking to get joined as soon as I can. Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.